Hi, this is Mark from Skywagon University doing another video on a particular type of a model of a plane. If you like these videos, subscribe on the little button and press the bell. The bell is lets you get notifications of other videos. So today it's going to be Cessna 170s. They were made from 1948 to 1955. This is a 53. This is a B model. The hierarchy of years is the 48s were called 170s. No A, no B. They have two struts that come down like this and a couple of bars in between, and they have fabric wings and no dihedral and very small flaps. They look like big 140s. And then there's the 170As, which started in 49, and they have a single strut and a metal wing, but they still have small flaps and they still have no dihedral. Literally the wing tops are just flat tip to tip. And then in 52 they came out with the 170B, which has the big Fowler flaps like a 180, 185. Very effective. Obviously single strut and all metal. All 170s have 0300s in them, or they're C145 Continentals or 0300s. They're 145 horsepower, 6-cylinder, carbureted Continental. A little bit underpowered. And a popular upgrade is to do what's been done to this plane, is to put a Lycoming 180 horsepower in it, an Avcon STC. And to do that, it's quite expensive. It's good to buy one that's already been done. Doing it now is almost prohibitive. You replace the entire engine with a Mooney M20C engine, 180 horsepower, carbureted, 4-cylinder Lycoming. And with that, it gets a constant speed prop, which is the Avcon STC. These bulges on the side of a, I'll just move this. These bulges on the side of a 170B with a 180 horse are because of the Lycoming valve covers bulge a bit, and they would touch the older cowling, which would be underneath. So this has changed. This is slightly different. This is slightly different because of the bigger spinner. And then there are a lot of other modifications that people like these for. This one has got a float kit. So come around here and I'll show you all the different things. It's got a Horton STOL Kit, which is a leading edge cuff change up to like the spec of like a 73 or newer Cessna wing almost, but slightly more STOL. There's a fence on top of the wing. It's also got flap gap seals, which closes the flap gap here and gives it a little bit more STOL effect. It's also got a float kit, which is very rare on a 170. It's this piece, and the two buttons, just like on a 180, 185, means it's never been on floats. If it's been on floats, there are 4. So it's got the float kit, it's got a STOL kit, it's got a 180 horse, it's got a constant speed, it's even got extra fuel. It's got 65 gallons of gas. The original 170 just has the two main tanks there, and that's like 39 gallons. This one has had the flint tip tanks added. They're inside the last bay, they're here. There's its overflow, there's its drain. I could just let a little bit of fuel come out of there. So there's 12 gallons in each tip. So you've got 12, 18 and a half, 18 and a half, 12, and if my math is right, that's about 63 gallons total, which is a lot. This plane burns about, with the 180 horse in it, burns between 9 and 10 gallons an hour, so 5 hours. It's also got the tail cone lift handles for easy maneuvering on the ground, so you don't have to wrestle on the tail. And then it's got this very characteristic Cessna 170/195-esque tail, very rounded and retro looking, and actually very effective. It's a big rudder, which you need on a Taildragger, and just very kind of classic, periodic, sort of old 50s look to it. The fuselage is very like a Cessna 180. I mean, it's the same size pretty much. If this was like a 53 180, that fuselage would be very similar size. Tail cone, doors, right up almost to the firewall. It's almost exactly the same size. It's got the small gas cap conversion on it so that they don't let water in. And you can see on the top of the wings here, there are the lifting rings, 4 of them, to allow it to be lifted off the ground under a beam in a hangar to put the floats under it. So it's got a lot of different mods and features on it. But 170s are, if you like the way an early 180 flies, you'll love the way a 170 flies, because it's that totally light, nimble feeling. They're not as fast, obviously, because it's only 180 horse or 145 horse. They do about 100 knots with the 0300 in them. They do about 110 knots with the Lycoming in them. But what the Lycoming gives them is incredible short field takeoff. This plane I mean, it's 4 seats and it's a 750-pound useful load, but it's bigger than a Supercub, but it kind of feels and plays and acts where Supercubs play and act and feel. It's very, very good 4-seat little bush plane for somebody that doesn't want to get into a 180 or 185 and have the big 6-cylinder Continentals. So all the mods on the wing in one consecutive line from tip to tip. ADS-B Uvonics out. It's a good way of doing it for under $2,000. The Horton wingtip, part of the cuff on the leading edge. The last 2 bays to here, fuel tank. And then the fence for the STOL Kit, which separates the airflow over the flap and aileron at low speeds to stop the boundary layer breaking away. And then further in the main fuel tank, the flap gap seals are underneath, the lifting rings, the small raised gas caps. So I mean, there's a lot been done all on one plane. Tires and wheels and gear legs on 170s. This is just a regular Flight Custom 700 by 6. This could have a 606, 706, 806, even an 850 on this wheel and rim. You could put double puck brakes on it. You can go up to some of the much bigger tires, Alaska bush wheels, and have it lifted up to 29, 35, 33-inch tires. You could go this size. Sometimes people change the gear legs. The 170 gear leg is thinner. It's called like the lady legs, or they're very. I mean, you can see, watch. They're very forgiving, but they're also very flexible. So you could put in 180 gear legs or even 185 gear legs, which makes them much more rigid. So if you land hard, it'll just jar rather than flex. So sometimes people upgrade the gear legs as well. The tailwheel is a standard Scott 3200. You can see it under here. It's got a leaf spring, not actually a tube, however you pronounce it, like a 180 or 185, but it's the conventional tailwheel, and you can put on various different other ones as well, like the baby bush wheel and bigger ones to match the main wheels. See how light that elevator is? They're excellent flying planes, these. One major thing you'll notice on the side of a 170 is no baggage door. None of them had it. If you see one with it, it's been added. It's the same fuselage as an early 180, so you can put them in. You just use the engineering drawings of the 180 to put them in, so you'll sometimes see them with it. But no factory 170 ever had a baggage door, so everything is just loaded over the back seat. The front of the back seat, the top of the back seat pulls forward, everything goes over the back, and the battery is right here in the baggage area. 170As and the early Bs, this is a 53, so up until 52, they have a latch here, and you put the whole hood up on both sides. This is more like an early 180 because it's the 53, and they went from 53 to 55 like this. You just pop those two, pull that open, and you can see the back cylinder of the Lycoming. The front one is there, and it's just literally the same engine as in a Mooney M20C. It's got an oil filter down there. Some of them had screens, the prop governors on the back. It fits pretty nicely under this cowling. When you close it, you have to tuck this lip under the top edge, make sure it's aligned, click, click, put it to bed. And then round the front, if you look in here, you can see there's a lightweight Skytech starter. They turn much faster, easier to start, and you can see it's a much different air intake design to the conventional Continental. And it weighs about the same. It actually weighs a bit less because it's 4 cylinders and the other one was 6, but it gains that back in constant speed prop, so it actually doesn't gain much weight by having the 30 odd horsepower that's been added back to it. Exhaust is different. It comes out of the cowlings just like on any other of the Lycoming powered planes. If this was the Continental, it would have 2 little pipes, one sticking out here and one sticking out here, and there's the hole. You can see this has been blanked off. Inside, this is not standard. In a normal 170, you'll see piano keys down here, little chrome piano keys, master switch. The radios are normally over here, and then there's a sort of disorganized array of gyros that span across the whole top of the panel. So in this plane, somebody's put in a custom Avion panel with center stack radios and modern gauges, which makes it a lot more usable, a lot more modernized as it would have compared to what it would have been in the old days. So that's a nice upgrade too. So this plane's got I mean, if you're going to modify a 170B, they're all on this one. So it was actually a very good subject for this video to show you everything it could have. It's even got shoulder harnesses that lock. It's got the seat belt down here that locks, so if the seat flies back, it grips it. That's on a lot of different planes. The flaps, 40 degrees, 10, 20, 30, 40, very effective, just like on a 180 or 185. And the trim, incredibly light. It doesn't have a jack screw, it's a trim tab, but it's very light and very user. If you're going to get checked out in a side-by-side Taildragger, a 170 is an excellent plane. I actually had a 170. My first plane, Joe Stansel got me my first plane way back in like 1992, and it was a 52 170B. I really remember that plane. I got 350 hours in it. Excellent. Did everything at 100 knots. So this is Mark from Skywagon University signing off again. Please subscribe. It all helps to make more videos like this with more subscriptions on the button. Click the little bell, and thank you very much from Skywagon University. Okay, we're just going to start her up. Mixture in, mags on, throttle, master, hot start, clear! I wish they were all that easy. Going to taxi it back up to the hangar.